We are here, right? And preamble. This is, how to write the background of your study in chapter 1. So this is very important. In the background writing, I have started with the importance of the sector. Then I have talked about the issue or the problem of this industry. That then what are the different factors that are affecting the problem, and then and what are the why these industry are in problem, so that need to be highlighted. And it is just yeah, how to write it I have given you. If you go through this, then that will help you if you following it. But you have to highlight all the variables, like your problem, your mediating variable, moderating variable, independent variable, your context. All are in brief with its great importance in this industry. So if you follow this, this will give you how to articulate your own one. So how to, this is the most important one, to write the problem statement. And even during your proposal, supervisor asks, what is your problem? And if it is not really a problem, that your supervisor or the examiner will not give you permission to spend your 2 years, 3 years, 4 years time for the study. So that's why it should be a genuine problem, for which you have to highlight. And how to write the problem, I shall show you, inshallah. The problem is the challenge or issue or gap that the people face. Okay, just check I am recording or not. So that, as okay, I'm recording. The foundation of any research. The problem is the foundation. If you do not have problem, no need of research actually. Then identifies the topic or specific problem or question under study. Then provides justification of the study. Then concise, usually in 1 to 3 pages. In master's level, 1 page, 1.5 page, it's okay. But in the case of PhD, maximum 3 pages. Then focused, specific consideration of scope of the project. Use maximum reference. If you use maximum reference, that will give a strength of your study. So that's why use maximum reference on your statement that it is really a problem. Then please consider the following points for writing your problem statement. Is the problem of current interest? Maybe it was the problem 4 years, 5 years, 10 years back. Maybe the problem already solved. So it should be the current and contemporary. It must be a contemporary issue. Then is the problem likely to continue in the future? If you are not solving this problem immediately, so it will continue, and it will create the problem for the industry, for the country. So you have to highlight in this way. Then will more information about the problem have practical application? Your problem has its practical application. Then will more information about the problem have theoretical importance? How large is the population affected by the problem? So if you're in PhD study, if your industry is very small, so maybe you will not get permission for data collection, or yeah, maybe they will say, so you can write a paper on this, but you cannot spend 3 4 years time for probing this small issue. So it might have a large population. How important, influential, or popular in this population? And then would this study substantially revise or extend existing knowledge? So you have to highlight that one as well. Would this study create or improve an instrument of some utility? Would research findings lead to some useful change in best practice? Is there evidence or authoritative opinion from others to support the need for this research. So you have to consider all of these points. But what are the key words that you need to use writing in problem statement? Suppose in problem statement itself, you say it is a problem. This industry has a problem in this area. So this industry is facing challenges in this employee productivity issue, productivity. Then this is an issue for this industry, or difficult to hard, difficult, or this is very hard for them to survive like this. Then there is some error, there is a gap of study, need or should provide or focus on this area. Then a lack of knowledge in this area to improve, how to resolve. Then limit and limited and limitation and necessary to. These are the keywords that need to be used. So how to use these keywords, let's see in this example. Say, according to the report of ILO 2016, productivity gaps in different Asian countries remain considerable. They define the productivity as gross value added in current prices per employed person, where Bangladeshi garment workers' productivity is lowest, which is less than 1,000 area, 1,000, whereas in Cambodia, India, Pakistan, and Vietnam, productivity levels in garments range from $1,000 to 700, 1,700 to 2,300. Labor productivity in Thailand exceeded 8,000, and it was more than 4,000 in Indonesia and Philippines. See how I have highlighted in respect of the workers, the gross value, what they produce. So in Bangladeshi garment workers, their productivity is less than $1,000, whereas in Thailand, more than $8,000 their workers are earning. So this is really a problem. You have to show to your reader. You have to convince to your examiner and the supervisor and the corresponding authority. Then Wahid 2011 study found that Bangladeshi garment manufacturers are more initiative than Pakistani garment manufacturer, but the workers' productivity is comparatively higher in Pakistan than Bangladeshi workers. According to Blog and Shope, the productivity of workers in Bangladesh is lower than China, with slower growth as well, which is a serious issue to compete international market. So see how highlighting the problem. Say the daily newspaper Dhaka Tribune, the president of BGME, Dr. Atikul Islam, and parliament member of Mrs. Shirin Akhtar, recognized the low labor productivity as one of the crucial issue and addressed it as a great challenge for us. See the use the challenge for us to sustain in international apparel market, for which we need to increase our workers skills, as we are one step behind of our competitors. She also requested for a dedicated ministry for this purpose. So for your study you will highlight in this way, and you will get some essence how to write your own problem statement. And this is how you need to highlight. Okay, see each and every and you have to highlight especially your dependent variable. That's the problem. Then see Bangladesh competitors countries. Social compliance practice is the sub-standards in Bangladesh than in competing countries. Then RMG industry is facing tremendous challenge in social compliance issue. See that we have the problem in social compliance, we have the problem in productivity, we have the problem in workers motivation. So see here The workers of the garment industry of Bangladesh are less motivated, and RNG owners have very little concern about the motivation of their workers. Who said? Haider et al. 2018, Alam alias 2018, Osabia 2015. So is all of these are the current problem, and there is a problem in motivation. There is a problem in social compliance. So there is a problem uh, uh, in employee productivity. So you have talked about your independent variable, you have talked about your dependent variable and your mediator. So now you will link each other. Is there any significant effect of social compliance on employee productivity? If your social compliance variables you are improving, then is there any effect on employee productivity? If your study findings would be in that way, and is there any mediation effect of employee motivation or not in between social compliance and employee productivity? You have to highlight in this way. You have to always focus on the your framework. You will try to make a relationship between dependent variable and interdependent variable and the mediating variable in your introduction, in your background, in your problem. So everywhere you will give some highlights and make a connection between all of these. Say how to write the problem statement. The productivity of employees endures a detrimental role in attaining industrial success. The overall success of managers largely depend upon the productivity of other employees of their employees. As for this, each manager pursues to increase the productivity of their operation, which is one of the crucial element of their overall strategy. Improvement of workers' productivity is one of the is one industry has spilled over effects. It's just introduction. Not only that, you see, it is evident that high level of workers' productivity carries a more significant margin in a company. Hence, the manufacturing company can earn more profit to increase. Just highlighted. However, employee productivity is continuing challenge in most developing emerging market. Then it is general talking. Then you will come to your industry. Saha and Mojumdar also identified the confirm the low labor productivity of RNG industry in comparison with Bangladeshi competitors like China, India, Philippines, Pakistan, and Vietnam. So how you will give a general idea, a general problem of employee productivity in why it is important employee productivity. Then you will give an problem internationally. Then you will come up with the locally, especially in your context. That you will mostly you will focus over there. So how to write research question? As soon as you have you have written your problem statement, then you will raise your question. A research question is an answerable inquiry into a specific concern or issue. It is the initial step in a research project. The initial step means after you have an idea of what you want to study, the research question is the first active step in the research project. Writing a good research questions means you have something you want to study. Specify your specific concern or issue, and to decide what you want to know about the specific concern or issue. Turn what you want to know and the specific concern into a question. Then ensure that the question is answerable. Check to make sure the question is not too broad or too narrow. That So you have to consider all of these points in formulating the research question. So how to write the research questions? So in you can start like this. In this context, actually I have used one thesis that might help you. I have linked it all of this so that it might help you. uh, what is the effect of social compliance on employee productivity? So first question, independent, what is the effect of independent variable over dependent variable? Independent variable is your social compliance, and employee productivity is your dependent variable. So first question is, what is the effect of social compliance on employee productivity that you want to observe? What is the effect of social compliance on employee work motivation? Is there any relationship? Is there any effect of social compliance on employee work motivation? And what is the effect of employee work motivation on employee productivity? Say you are getting the point, and you have to focus on your variable. That's why all the questions to be raised within your limit. And to what extent employee work motivation mediates the relationship between social compliance and employee productivity? So, how to write the research question, and what is the current status of social compliance practice, employee work motivation level, and employee productivity level? And what is the overall model for assessing the mediating effect concerning the relationship of employee work motivation on social compliance and employee productivity? These are the six questions that the investigator raised for the inquiry. So how to write then once you have formulated the research questions from research objective, from research problem. Now you will formulate the research objective based on your research question. So this the research objectives should be closely related with research question. So I would suggest you, those who are the same number of research questions you should have. It is better to have the same number, not necessarily same number of research objective, not necessarily, but it will simplify. It will help you in presenting your report, your study. So closely, it should be closely related to the research question, covering all aspects of the problem. Covering all aspects of the problem. It should be very specific, ordered in a logical sequence, and stated in action verbs that could be evaluated, such as to describe, to identify, to measure, to compare, like this. If you are in quantitative researcher, in that case you have to use this word. If you are qualitative researcher, in that case you can use to explore, to investigate, like this. These are the word you can use. Suppose if you are using the qualitative research, qualitative word in the quantitative research, then we don't want from a good researcher in that way, because the investigate word, the explore word we use in qualitative research. But in the case of the quantitative research, we use the to assess, to examine, to observe. These are the common words that we use for quantitative research. Then achievable, it must be achievable, then taking into consideration the available resources and time. Then mutually exclusive with an repetitions or overlaps. So this is how we and how to write. See, same number of we had the six research questions. We have the six research objective. See, like same, but how to write it, how to formulate it. Uh, okay. To examine the effect of social compliance on employee productivity, to determine the effect of social compliance on employee work motivation, to examine the effect of employee work motivation on employee productivity, to identify the mediating role of employee work motivation concerning the relationship between social compliance and employee productivity. In the same number of questions, same number of research subjects, that will help you not to be in trouble to present your result. Then example of this is the most important part of your research, that is the research framework. It would represent your research objective, research question, research title, research problem, your hypothesis, all are and your contribution, theoretical theoretical basis, all are representing research framework or conceptual framework or theoretical framework of your study that represent the uh, everything, your contribution, theoretical contribution, practical contribution, everything represented by your research framework. That's why it is most important one of your study. So can anyone, brother from, okay, Mukti Yadav, are you there, brother? Mukti Yadav? Okay. Yes,
Yes, sir.
brother.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you tell us how many? Yeah. What? Which one is dependent variable from this framework? Which one is dependent variable? Which one is independent? Which is dependent? Or can you tell me? Independent variable, dependent variable, moderating, moderating from this framework.
Yes, sir. There is sound problem, sir. I am not listening well.
Okay. Okay.
This
Okay.
presentation is very well, but there is sound
Okay.
problem, sir.
It's okay. It's okay, sir. Brother, sister Humaira, can you tell us?
Yes, sir. Hi, sir. Franklin.
Yes, Humaira. Brother Mukti Yadav, mute your mic. Nuttapol, brother
Sir, may I?
Nuttapol, brother Nuttapol, sister Nima Norbu. Can you tell us how many, which one is independent, which one is dependent variable, which one is mediating, moderating variable? Can you tell us?
Hello.
Yes. Who is this?
So this is Abdul Wahid, sir.
Okay, brother Abdullah, please tell us.
Yes. So I think wage, welfare facilities, fringe benefits, they are input variables, sir.
Which variable?
Independent variables,
Yes.
sir.
Okay. Very good. MashaAllah.
Job satisfaction, employee performance, they are dependent variable, and culture is moderating, sir.
Okay. Oh, which one is mediating variable?
Mediating variable.
Which one?
Job satisfaction.
Yes. Who is this? Very good. Who is this? Job satisfaction. What time?
Sir.
Okay. Who is
Job
this?
satisfaction, job satisfaction
Nima.
and performance are the
Sir, can I say?
dependent variable.
Sir, employee
Yes.
performance is dependent variable, job satisfaction, mediating variable, culture, moderating variable, and there are three independent variables like wage, welfare facilities, and fringe benefits.
MashaAllah. Who is this?
Sir, I am Liman Asrin Eni, sir, from Bangladesh.
Lima. MashaAllah. Thank you, sister. A very good answer. We have to understand our research framework very accurately. Sometimes if you cannot you are unable to understand your research framework, then it will always give you pain how to present the results if you do not understand your and how to make the framework see independent variable ways under the compensation package, wage, welfare facilities, and fringe benefits. These three variables